Well, hey everybody, Ray here, and
Dan here.
you can't say Dan here. That's my signature opening.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You got to pick something else.
This is Dan here.
No, you can't say Dan here. You got to pick something. That's my signature opening.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
You're right. Hi y'all, this is Dan.
Yeah, that'll work. Okay. What we're going to attempt to do today is to mount a dust collector on a 5-gallon bucket, and I've got a complete video about how to do that, and I'll reference that video up here. And the reason we're going to do this is we're playing around with taking a, what do you call this?
This is a it's inside of a spa. It's what creates the bubbles in the water.
Okay, so it's the air recirculator that creates the bubbles in a hot tub.
Hot tub. Very strong.
It's got a very strong vacuum to it. So what we're going to do is we're going to attempt to mount this on the top of this dust collector here, the cyclone dust collector, and see if we can create our own little dust collection system. So stick around. I think it's going to be fun.
Who makes this?
Centex Systems. This is made by Centex Systems. Okay. It's a great dust separator. Okay. So stick around. This ought to be fun. Maybe we'll learn something while we do this. So in order to put the dust collector onto the lid of the 5-gallon bucket here, the first thing we had to do was to measure this. And from the outside of this opening here, it's 4 1/4 inches. So what we did was we set a compass to, is that what it is, a compass?
Protractor?
Protractor, whatever. We set this fork thing and we set it to 2 1/8 inches. And then when we put that in the middle of our bucket, what we found was that 2 1/8 inches is actually right where this kind of ring is already designed into the lid. So what we did was drill ourselves about a, what would you say this, about a 5/8 hole or something in there, which is big enough that we can get 3/8 hole, big enough that we can get our jigsaw in there and cut around.
Wow, there.
We got our hole cut in the lid here, and you can tell that my brother Dan just cut a perfectly bad cut circle with the jigsaw. But the main thing is that when we take the dust separator here, it has to fit over that ring. It fits over it just fine. Okay, right. So we're going to hide his work. You'll never know how badly he cut this.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what gaskets are for.
True. What gaskets are for. He's going to fix his hole.
That's right.
All right, so we're going to mount this thing on. All right, so laying the gasket on the hole that we just cut in the lid will tell us precisely where we need to drill the holes to mount this dust separator to the lid. So Dan's going to mark those holes. All right, now we're ready to drill those holes out. The first thing we're going to do is just drill a small pilot hole so we can make sure that we get the larger bit centered. All right, now we're ready to drill the final holes in here, and we've switched to what size bit did we
That's
switch?
5/16.
5/16 bit. And do you get when you buy the Centex dust separator, does it come with everything you need to mount it?
You know, that's what's cool about it. It comes with the gasket. It comes with the nuts and the bolts. It also comes with the tool in order to put the nuts and the bolts.
So you don't have to scrounge around for
No,
the right size Allen wrench. They include that with it.
It comes with everything.
Okay, very good.
Cool. Yeah.
Okay, so now we're going to do our 3/16 hole, 5/16 hole.
Yeah, 5/16. Whoa, man, that's fast.
All right, perfect. Okay, so now we're ready to mount this on the dust separator. We just need to make sure that we line up our holes here. Make sure our gasket's clean. Line up the holes. So now the gasket is lined up with the holes on the separator. And all we have to do is line up our holes here. Like every job,
Slippery.
3 hands is better than 2.
Let me put a nut on the other end.
Okay, now we're just going to use the little Allen wrench here, tighten these up. Okay, Danny, you correct me if I'm wrong, but what we've figured out here is that the blower motor and the direction of the air flow is this way. So it's going to become, instead of being a blower, it's actually going to be a vacuum unit for us.
Correct.
It has a 3.5-inch opening on this side of the motor. And you have found a 3.5-inch coupling that will fit right over that.
Correct.
Then you found a reducer that will fit inside this 3.5-inch coupling, and that reducer will take it down to a 2-inch inside diameter Schedule 40 PVC, and that will connect right there. Now we have to get this whole unit connected on the top of our dust separator, and you have found another coupling that will fit on top of the dust separator. Tightly on tight, which is what we want. And there you go. So that fits on there nice and tight. And then we can just lift this up and slip it down inside that coupling. So let's go ahead and see if that fits in there for us. And that's going to be pretty perfect, although I'm thinking this does not need to be as long as it is.
Okay, we can cut it half.
Yeah, I think try that, because it'll make it a whole lot more stable. What do you think?
I think you're right.
Okay, and then but before we do that, I want to compliment you on this really nice workbench. Did you use like flooring?
I got
to do
you know
this?
where I got this?
No.
I got it on YouTube.
You mean the guy that says Ray here?
It's Armar Vids.
Armar Vids. Okay.
Yeah. And he did his whole workshop like this.
Smart guy.
Very smart. Now this table actually tilts up.
Yeah.
I can fold this up if I want to, but this is real hard material. It's waterproof flooring.
Yeah.
And it works great.
And it makes a nice smooth surface
Correct.
to work on,
That's
and
right.
it's easy to
And it's not
put
expensive
together.
either.
You know what? I'm going to take that Armar Vids video and I'm going to put it in the description below,
I think
so
you
people
should.
can figure out how to do this.
I think you should.
I think that's a great idea.
All right.
Now, well, Danny's out of the room, and I probably shouldn't do this, but do you remember the hole that he put in the lid and how imperfect that was? Well, I don't want to say that it's a problem with his cutting prowess in general, but I'm looking at these pieces of PVC, and I think you can probably see here that it's not cut very flat on this side, and it's certainly not cut very flat on this side. So apparently he can't cut anything in a straight line.
I heard you.
You heard all your
Yeah.
You heard all that?
Well, that's what gaskets are for.
Here's the good news that Danny, I mean, they're going to look perfect.
See? You're hiding it.
When we cut them, when we put it in here,
There you go.
into all of our
Look at that.
cuppers, one never knows that your cuts were crap.
You know, I'm not as perfect as Ray here.
Few of us are.
The blower only has a little bit of a lip here to screw the coupler on. So what I'm going to do, I actually took the clamp and I'm raising the clamp up so that it's actually on this part right here rather than that groove, so that it's going to hold much better when I put this on there. I'll clamp it down like that.
So Danny, let's talk about the Quick Click dust collection kit that you bought from Centex Systems.
Yeah, how I found out about it was I watched your video, and I decided this configuration was the best one for me for a small shop. I have a small shop. This configuration is right around $120. The kit includes this. It's quick connect type hose. It includes a adapter for multiple shop vacs, so you can connect it to almost any shop vac that you have. It also includes a 10-foot hose that I'll explain later. I don't use it in my case, but I'll explain that later. The quick connects are simple. All you do is you take the quick connect and you basically There's a ring around here, and you click it, and it clicks right in place. Then you can take multiple tools and things like that and connect it into the quick connect. And what I'm going to show you is I'll actually show you how I use this on my job site table saw.
So that hose is, how long was the hose that you got?
The hose is 16
foot.
long.
Okay.
Right.
And the multiple quick click connectors will fit to just about every smaller power tool that you have.
Smaller power tools, it's not going to connect like to like a 4-inch type of a hose.
A major dust collection
Correct.
system. Right,
Correct.
right.
But
Okay.
any small type tool, it'll connect to it.
Okay, so let's show how you adapted this to fit onto your DeWalt job site saw.
Okay. Okay, Ray, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you how to connect the quick connect system to my table saw, job site table saw. But before I do, I forgot to mention one very, very important thing. The dust collecting unit itself from Syntec, that's also included in that $120 package that I got. All right, so basically what you're going to do here is you take the quick connect hose and you connect it by pushing, and it just connects in. Take this part, put it in here, and then this part right here goes into the table saw.
Well, that fits perfectly.
It fits perfect. And there's one other thing that's nice about this system. It has a valve here, a vent closing system, so that if you don't want full vacuum, all you have to do is open that up, and you can, regulate the amount of vacuum that it's.
So it's got like a little hole in
That's
the
correct.
hose.
That's correct.
And if you put that gap over that hole, then it decreases the amount of vacuum.
That's correct.
Oh,
That's
cool.
correct.
Yeah, all right.
As I mentioned before, the kit also includes a 10-foot hose. This hose is normally used to connect the Syntec dust collector to multiple shop vacs. I'm not going to be using the 10-foot hose because of the setup that I have here. I don't need the hose. This blower motor here actually came from a hot tub unit. It also has a GFI plug. And what I do is I'm using the GFI plug to run the blower motor. And what's good about it is I can use the red button to turn it on, yellow button to turn it off, and we also have an added safety measure.
So Danny, your plan is that this unit will actually sit outside of your shop, because after the dust collector, the dust separator does its job, all you're going to be left with coming out of here are the really fine dust particles, and you don't want to be breathing those in your shop.
That's correct.
So your plan is that this will be positioned outside of your shop. You will either come through the wall with a hole, or just literally pull the hose in through the door if you need to.
That's correct.
And since this is going to be blowing straight up, if you so choose, you can put an elbow on here to blow it away from the building as well.
Correct.
Okay, I think that's going to work out great.
I do too. Okay, what we're going to do, we're going to go ahead and run a test here and pick up some dirt and dust off the floor. But the first thing I wanted to show you is how the actual GFI works. It has a reset button here, which is red colored reset button. All you do is you push the reset button. Let's give this a try and see how it works.
It looks like it's got plenty of suction power.
This is incredible. You notice the cyclone?
Yep, you can see it working.
Yep.
I'm very happy with this. Okay, so we cobbled together a pretty good little unit here. Instead of having to go out and buy a shop vac, he was able to reuse this pump, this air pump from a hot tub. And it really works great. It's got plenty of suction power. We figured out a way that keeping this outside will keep the fine dust out of the workshop. So this really worked out pretty well. I wish you could have seen all the bloopers, because Danny, my brother, and I had a lot of fun making this, and we laughed a lot while we did it. Hope you liked this video. If you did, hey, make sure you hit us with that thumbs up. We appreciate it. And Dan?
Ray?
We're out.
See ya.